What's up guys, welcome back to Rewatch Reality. On today's video, we're going to be discussing the 90-day fiancé couple, Patrick and Thias. Is it true love between these two or truly toxic?
Yeah!
That's Patrick, everyone. He's 31 years old from Austin, Texas. And that right there, that's Thias. She's 25 years old from Brazil. The two actually met on a dating app. Now, Patrick was planning a trip to Brazil to reconnect with his dad's side of his family. So Patrick actually decided to put his location down there. So that's when he saw Thias, he swiped right, and he was praying that she wasn't a catfish.
I decided to put my location down there on a dating app. We swiped right. I was kind of like, man, I hope this girl's real. Like, please be real.
So the two planned a date in which Patrick picked her up, the two connected, and from there, Patrick continued to book trips back to Brazil as often as he could to take her out. And on one of those outings, he popped the question.
11 months after I met Thias, I ended up proposing to her, and she said yes.
So far, Patrick seems like a really good dude. He's making all the right moves, taking her out, wining and dining her. He even learned her language so he can communicate with her better. Now the season kicks off where they've been approved for the K1, so Thias will be coming to America in 5 days. Immediately we start to see the red flags because for one, Thias hasn't told her father that she's engaged and that she's going to be moving to America. She's actually lied to him and told him that she was just going to be visiting Patrick, but not the fact that she's going to be getting married and permanently moving there. Now, she actually lied to Patrick as well because he thinks her dad is on board with their relationship and approves of him, but in reality, Thias admitted while getting interviewed by producers that her dad in fact doesn't even like him. This is a big red flag for me because honesty is the best policy. I don't think it's healthy for anyone who's building a relationship with someone to build on lies. Now, the red flags didn't stop there with Thias. Patrick has a huge problem on his hands, and it's the fact that Thias doesn't like his brother. I don't know what it is, but Thias just doesn't like him, and to make matters worse, John and Patrick live together, which means the three of them are all going to be having to live under the same roof. Now, the dynamic of their household is about to change dramatically because prior to Thias moving in with them, they've been having this bachelor pad type lifestyle, which means John loves to party, have people over.
Me and him definitely had like a bachelor pad type of setup. Cheers. Cheers. But that's all going to change when my fiance moves in with us next week.
So everyone's definitely going to be needing to adjust to this new situation. And then from John's viewpoint, you know, Thias is coming into his home as well because him and Patrick have been living together this whole time. Like prior to Thias being in the picture, it's always been them two. So, you know, on one end, John wants to be supportive of Patrick and dating Thias because he knows that this is what Patrick wants. But on the flip side of it, he's also concerned that Patrick is a little bit too whipped for Thias because she's displaying a lot of red flags and Patrick isn't doing anything about it. So for instance, when they were out drinking at the bar together, Patrick was texting Thias, letting her know where he was, and then at that point, that's when it came out that Patrick actually has to share his location of where he's at everywhere he goes because apparently Thias doesn't trust him. So to John, this is a big red flag. You shouldn't have to share your location wherever you go. In Patrick's defense, she lives in a whole nother country, you know, it makes her feel comfortable, so he's willing to do it. But then later on in the interview with the producers, it gets worse. It turns out that Thias doesn't even want him working with women, so he actually stopped working with women because she didn't like it.
Thias just doesn't understand that guys and girls work together. And instead of me arguing with her, I can't train any women reps anymore.
It's pretty bad, you guys. Mind you, Patrick lives in a smart house, and he actually opened up with us and let us know that he has to show her the cameras in his house to prove that he's alone. Now, in all fairness, it turns out that Patrick actually cheated on Thias in the beginning of their relationship, and that's the reason why she doesn't trust him. So it kind of raises my suspicion on this is the actual reason why she doesn't like his brother John. Like maybe she blames him for Patrick cheating on her. Basically what had happened is that they were getting really drunk one night and Patrick started making out with some chick that was at his house, and they ended up making out, but Patrick admitted the only reason why they only made out was because his thing was floppy, aka he couldn't get it up. I do understand why Thias is having trust issues with Patrick, with the fact that he did cheat on her. I mean, I'll give Patrick props for at least being a man and admitting to her that he did cheat on her. But any woman is going to be instilled with insecurities if their man is looking at another woman or per se wants another woman. But with that being said, the ball was in her court. She understands that he cheated on her. She's made the conscious decision to stay in the relationship with him. And at that point, because she continues to be in a relationship with him, I think she needs to let off a little bit and, you know, let him hang himself. If you give him the leniency to go out and do what he wants and he cheats on you again, at that point you leave him. If he doesn't cheat on you again, then you've learned that you can trust him. But either way, the moral of the story is you got to let up a little bit, because if you're just on someone like that all the time, like a hawk, it's creating more and more toxicities. Like Patrick was the one that screwed up, but the way that she's acting in every scenario with her entitled behavior, snarky attitudes, you know, this feeling of entitlement and feeling ungrateful, all these different things are just contributing to the toxicity of their relationship. Okay, so now that Thias has come to America, she really feels like she made it in life and tells us that she feels like she accomplished her dream for them to be together.
I feel incredible and I'm so happy I accomplished the dream to our life together.
For a second there, I couldn't tell if she was talking about coming to America or Patrick. But of course she was talking about Patrick, right? There's just no way that she would never have a dream of coming to America. The two had a great first night together, but the sunshines and roses came crashing down within minutes of waking up. Patrick was going to go cook Thias breakfast, and Thias already started zeroing in on Patrick's brother, John. In Thias' defense, in the perfect world, John wouldn't live there, and she could just run around the house naked with her man and not have to worry about dressing appropriate in front of his brother. But that's just not the case, and she knew that before she walked into this situation. So to now have an attitude about the situation, I think is honestly ridiculous and uncalled for, because it's like, you knew what it is, like it's nothing new, like get yourself together. He lives with his brother, you accept it, eventually he'll move out, but in the meantime, everybody has to make peace. And it just was like really unfortunate that on the first day, they were already going to head. Thias did not like the fact that he was drinking. I'll admit that he was sloppy drunk that day, but if she would have just minded her own business and focused on Patrick, I don't think it would have been an argument that would have even happened in the first place.
What is this, John?
What is this, what?
Beer?
Beer?
In the morning?
You know what beer is?
Yeah, she knows what beer is.
I don't know. Just asking a question.
Again, okay, John?
Oh, no.
You're crazy. People
No, crazy?
drink
I know
beer
crazy.
in the morning.
You arrive one day, I'm sitting here playing a video game, you're gonna pull this? Nah.
Well, this is going to be a nice awkward breakfast.
Salute.
The war between these two didn't stop there, because shortly after Thias arrived to Austin, Texas, they actually end up moving over to Dallas. Now, both of the guys' jobs are requiring them to move to another area. It's a, you know, basically a better opportunity. So Patrick has to sell his house and buy a new house, and so that is what happened. And Thias' ungrateful ass is mad that the fact that John gets the upstairs of the house that they just bought. She doesn't like the downstairs area. She feels it's too small. She's offended that Patrick didn't consult her about the house that he was buying. And just the red flags honestly don't stop with her, because I can't believe that she even feels entitled enough to come over here and start dictating and calling shots on what everyone's doing. Like, you're walking into their home, you're walking into Patrick's money. Like, he's the one that should be making the decisions of these things.
Dessa casa, porque o Patrick já fez os planos sem me consultar. Não tô gostando da parte do John. Tá tomando conta do piso inteiro, todo, da parte de cima. Ou seja, a gente tá com a parte pequena embaixo.
And this is where we start to see a shift with Patrick, because he's just seeing the red flags finally for himself. He has zero tolerance for her and her comments and not being grateful for the house that they moved into. So Patrick decides, like, he's starting to see some of these red flags, and so he thinks that he's gonna, you know, basically he needs to put his foot down with her and start addressing some of these issues that he's been avoiding this whole time. So he doesn't like the fact that she's being ungrateful about the house, and then also he doesn't doesn't want to marry somebody who doesn't trust him. So the fact that she wants to have his locations everywhere, he decides that he's going to treat her to a new cell phone, of getting her a brand new iPhone, which of course she's going to be happy about. But within doing so, he's going to let her know that he's not going to be sharing his location with her anymore, that she's in the States, that she needs to be confident in him, and that she needs to trust him, that, you know, if they can move forward from the past of him making the mistake in the beginning of the relationship. She doesn't like it, but she's going to have to deal with it because he's putting his foot down. But at the end of it all, it's really just because of the trust issues. She doesn't trust him. But at the same time, like I said before, she accepted the engagement. At some point, she's going to have to let go of what happened because this control of needing to know where he's at all times, it's not healthy.
Want look all the time your location.
It feels bad when, you know, I'm with somebody and they're, you know, the love of my life and they don't trust me.
E deu motivos para isso. Uau.
Em passado.
Você me contou que você ficou com ela.
Só beijar.
Só beijar e só não ficar.
So she's just not happy overall for several reasons. She doesn't like the size of the house. She doesn't like that he doesn't want her to have his location anymore. She doesn't like the fact that John is living at the house. And then this is what all of us viewers got worked up about, because there was a situation where basically John had invited a bunch of people over to their new place, and a bunch of girls came over there. Guys came, girls came. Thias did not like it. She was uncomfortable the whole time. She wasn't trying to mingle with any of the girls. It just got super awkward. Patrick can feel it. He was sweating bullets. They ended up going upstairs, and it got to the point where Patrick had to tell Thias that all the girls in the room were ugly for her to feel confident and comfortable to go downstairs. And everybody was saying that this was just a red flag on both of their parts. Like, it was super douchey that Patrick even said that, and it's just, you know, Thias's insecurities are just screaming that the fact that she even thinks that these girls down there are even her competition or trying to get at her man. Like, everyone's just trying to have a good time, and it was just showing that she just has a really, you know, shitty personality, to be honest with you. So one of Thias's biggest complaints is the fact that she doesn't feel comfortable in her own home. She doesn't feel like she had any say in anything. The house is really dark. It's a lot of like dull colors, grays, whites, black. She likes a lot of color. So Patrick had offered to take her out shopping. That way she could maybe pick out some decor for the house, you know, and try to make it feel like her own. Well, things just get super weird because, I mean, I'm with Thias on this one. I don't know why he invited her to go out to go shopping if he was going to be super weird and reserved about spending any money. So what ended up happening was, I don't know if he had a change of heart when he was there and he started to realize just how ungrateful she is, and the fact that he grew up in a poor family. He had mentioned that he grew up in a trailer park with 6 people. So there was a bunch of people in the house, always sharing rooms. So the fact that he's doing so well for himself, he doesn't forget about where he came from. And so with Thias coming over here just like splurging all his money, you know, just expecting all this lavish stuff, that when she was looking at carpets, things were looking like at $400 or $500. And he just started to think like, we don't actually need this stuff. But I don't know, I feel like he just like switched up on her. I don't know if he was like in a mood that day or he was feeling down. I'm not sure what was happening. I'll tell you what I think. I think that he had just bought the house, so he spent a lot of money. He had just got the iPhone, spent a lot of money, you know, taking care of all her maintenance, nails, hair, everything, right? So I think he was in a situation where he's like, okay, my money's starting to run low right now. I need time to get my money back up again. And so he doesn't want to say that. It seems like he doesn't want to say that. I don't know his pockets. I don't know how much money he has or what's going on, but he was getting real reserved about wanting to spend money. And that's where, you know, it is true. Like the fact that Thias did press him about the money. I mean, she does need to know a little bit of what she's working with. She doesn't need to know exact numbers. But I mean, if you're treating her a certain way and letting her spend all this money, and then all of a sudden you don't, and it seems like you don't have money, then I mean, that's all, in all fairness, like she needs to know, like, you know, what the range is. That way she knows what she's working with, so she's not overspending your money. But if you're not putting a limit on anything and she just thinks that she can splurge and spend whatever she wants, I mean, how is she supposed to know that she's supposed to be reserved about things?
I make enough, yeah. I mean, it fluctuates.
Show me.
Why do you need to know how much money I have?
And you know what the best thing to do after having an argument over finances with your significant other? You take them to Vegas so you can splurge more money. No, I'm just kidding. In this particular case, I'm happy that they ended up going to Vegas. I think it's stupid from a financial standpoint, just with the fact that he was kind of like, you know, trying to like check her as far as spending finances, and then now he's in Las Vegas spending more money on lavish vacations. But anyways, he took her there that way she could meet his little brother. So it actually slipped out. It was the best thing that could have happened. Remember how I mentioned before the fact that she didn't tell her dad it was gonna bite her in the ass? Well, she slipped at the table, and Patrick finds out that Thias's dad doesn't even know they're getting married. So she's sweating bullets now. She can't believe that she even let it slip. So she said to make up to Patrick for her lying about not telling her dad that they're getting married, she decides to take him to some cheap ass Vegas chapel, try to manipulate him into getting married. And I'm so happy that Patrick said no, because he even told her that you deserve better than this. And she got pissed off because he told her that you deserve better than getting married in this chapel. This is where you marry strippers. And she didn't like it.
Nós podemos só casar?
No. This isn't how I imagine getting married. I want to have a real wedding. Even if it's a small one, I want it to be real. This is how you marry a stripper. You deserve better.
Let's go.
Thias seems like the type of person that is used to always getting what she wants, or always used to men telling her yes, or in this case maybe Patrick always telling her yes. So I think it's really important that Patrick did tell her no in this situation, because she does get away with a lot because he loves her. But I'm just happy in this particular moment that he went with his gut instinct, and it's not something that he wanted to do, so he put his foot down and he said no. I think that he has every right to do that. So now that the truth is out, at least with Patrick knowing that Thias's father doesn't know that they're getting married, it seems like he's like teeter-tottering on putting his foot down to getting married on her or not. So it's good that Patrick has his brother John there to ask the hard questions and who is watching out for him. Basically, they all say like you should not get married unless her dad knows, and I agree with that. So I'm hoping Patrick is going to stick to it. I'm hoping that we're going to see at some point that they're going to sit down with Thias's dad. I prefer to see Thias sit down with her dad on, you know, video call and let him know directly. So I'm hoping that's going to happen. But the way that it's sounding, and based off of what Patrick's brother and friends say, it seems like Patrick's gonna just do whatever Thias says. So we're gonna have to actually see if he's gonna put his foot down when it comes to this topic or not.
This is a one red flag that I've seen, and I'm gonna handle it.
And right when you think things couldn't get any worse between these two, Entertainment Tonight just dropped this exclusive video on Thias overhearing Patrick and his brother John talking about a bachelor party, and Thias loses it.
Você vai?
No.
Okay.
No.
I hate
John
bachelor
didn't
party.
know.
I hate bachelor party is ridiculous. If Patrick have bachelor party, I'll kill him and get back to Brazil.
Yeah, so it's official. This relationship is going to get stamped with a big fat toxic, but you know what? They're still going to stay together. They're still going to get married, and there is speculation that Thias is pregnant. So, hey, to each his own. It's not the first time we've seen a toxic relationship happen. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching Rewatch Reality. That's all I got for you today on this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below and let me know if you like the content, how you feel about Thias and Patrick's relationship. And until next time, guys, peace out.